Right, so here we have the three Ryobi chargers compared. So they really are the good, the bad, and the ugly. Over here we've got the original version. I think it was the original, well, the original of the One Plus anyway. Here we've got the more modern intelligent charger. And here we've got an eBay clone. So let's just run through each one of them. First of all, the original one charges at 1.8 amps. So these 4,000 or 4,000 milliamp batteries will take 2.2 hours with that one, 2.6 hours with that one, and 1.3 hours with this one. Even though this is the clone, this one charges at 3 amps, this one at 1.5, and this one at 1.8. Now, the reason I've got these is because that's the original one, and to be honest with you, they are total junk. They really let down the Ryobi One product range, which is actually pretty good. And they really don't like being plugged with it basically switched on with the battery already in situ when it's a low charge. It seems to blow and what's called an inrush current limiting thermistor, which if I pull it apart here, you can have a look over here, which is fitted there normally, and that just exploded, and so did a current 3.1 amp surface mounted fuse as well. Outside of that, I then replaced it and it just doesn't work, so it's scrap. Now, having looked on the internet, there's loads of these for sale that don't work. I can't say I'm surprised because they are total rubbish. So don't buy that type, just bin it. Moving on to these ones, we've got the intelligent charger, and you can see from this that they've moved the actual 240 step down voltage to whatever it charges at, 21, 22. They've moved it to an external power supply up there, rather than have an internal one, which actually makes sense. But it would have been nicer considering that's only 22 volt, 21 volt output at 1.5 amps, if this was actually a DC jack here. But as usual, they've deliberately hardwired the thing, so if it does rust or that burns out, you could at least cut that cable and connect a DC jack to it. This one seems to charge okay. It charges the 4 amp battery to 20.5 volts, which is standard when we consider there's 10 in one of these packs. There's 2 rows of 5 18650 batteries, which has a maximum voltage of 4.2, and we times that by 5, of course, we get 21 volts. So that's fine. They then cut off at just under that level at 20.5, and the green light goes solid. So that one actually works pretty well. It's relatively slow, that's the only thing. It takes, like I said, 2.6, so 2 hours 30, 2 hours 40 minutes to charge this 4 amp battery. This one actually is the eBay clone over here, and it's actually quite a good charger. It charges much faster than the rest. It's 3 amp, it's obviously got the USB ports. Build quality is usual kind of rubbish, but it kind of works. The only thing, which is a bit of a shame, but there's one problem with this, and the real issue is that when the battery gets to fully charged, it seems to not switch off. It just seems to hover there at 20.3 volts, and they're programmed to switch off at 20.5 like the original here. So it tends to just stay flashing for literally 6-7 hours, not necessarily outputting a charge. If so, it's just a trickle. And then if you unplug this and plug it back in, the light goes green telling you it's fully charged. And you can demonstrate that by pulling out this battery when it's at 20.3 volts or it's been in there some 6 hours or so. And you plug it into this one, it will then charge another 0.2 volts, taking up to 20.5, and it will switch itself off. So a bit of a shame really, because this is quite a fast charger and it's cheap too. It's about £28, including delivery. These ones are about, I don't know, £30-40, something like that. And this old piece of scrap over here was actually the most expensive, I think. I think they were about 50 odd pounds when they came out, and I noticed a few companies were flogging them off for 25 or so, but they may as well just go in the bin. Like I said, I think the issue is with this is it doesn't like being switched on with the battery already in it when it's warm, and the battery's also flat. So at that point it sinks quite a lot of initial current and seems to blow all the circuits in it. And of course it's got the transformer, the step-down transformer built in it. And you've obviously, like I said, learnt their lesson and taken it out from there. Anyway, that's it. That's the 3 chargers. Which one would I have? This one's probably the best if you want kind of quality and safety, for the moment anyway. But this is a good, cheap, fast charger. But bear in mind, it doesn't switch itself off unless, of course, there's something wrong with just this one. And it is supposed to. You can see the marker there. Then it should go solid green. But it's only because it doesn't actually reach the full voltage. But it does reach 20.3 volts, which is about 99, 98% charged.